time, and so, I'm not going to go there. I think, everyone will. Everyone has their own different experience, their different magical little trip for finding it and it finding them. When it's time, it happens for sure.
Well, let's see here. I've got a whole list of questions here. Maybe you can explain in the beginning of what you learned about Buddhism to learn how to share with others and swap between Christianity and Buddhism. But I want to also get into the sincerity of death and dying and reincarnation and how we use different words for maybe the same energy, love and life. But you already talked about, coming back here, or did Tommy, but coming back to this reality, I think, because of your name and agreeing to probably come back and help people in this reality or in this universe or in this lifetime. So we'll have to figure out how to talk all that. But you want to start with, I guess, what's the difference between Buddhism and Christianity? Because reincarnation isn't necessarily a Christian. We believe in ascension in raising, but I don't remember them ever telling me I'd been here before or had past lives, if you know what I mean. So maybe you can start with Buddhism. Mm-hmm.
To me personally, that's one of the things, in and of itself that I feel, but again, these are my personal feelings, is that I don't feel like Christianity really empowers I don't feel like it empowers its people, to empower themselves. For instance, like to learn what is meditation and what is it to really just feel peaceful within yourself and to understand some of these things, like why do you feel sometimes like, whoa, I've been here before. I know this. How do I know this? How could I know this, right? A lot of us have that experience, and we call it deja vu, but I really think it goes a lot deeper than that. And to me, that's just a tiny way that we can prove reincarnation to ourselves. There are many ways, and I think that, sometimes if we're prone to dreaming, some of our past dreams or some dreams when we have very vivid dreams and we wake up and we go, I can't explain that, but it's so real. It's so real. A lot of times those are past life experiences. But reincarnation, there are just so many entities and so many, it's just hard for us to believe that we haven't been here before, and as many different different bugs, birds, different different entities. It's really amazing that I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of one of my first experiences when reincarnation really came so real for me. I think actually it was when I was in India and I was walking down the road and I knew where I was going. That was one time that was really strong. But there, it's different for everyone. Everyone has, I think, to more or lesser degrees of experiences of that feeling of knowing people when we go, oh, I know that I've known you from somewhere, that same thing. It we do, and we have in fact known that person, but from a different time and space. Yeah. That's yeah.
Well, coming here and my daughter coming here, and she and I both felt like we knew each other prior, but when the veil comes down and you come back into a container, I guess a lot of people, especially in America, believe you're born with a blank slate. They're not really trained to look for their past lives or their soul purpose. And we sort of reflect on someone that showed us, like we call the Bible, the basic instruction before leaving Earth, right? And my daughter was very big on that. But she followed the God story and the Christ story, and she followed Greg Braden and Emerald Tablets and the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita. But she looked at all that and Jews, the Torah. But she pretty much still had this thing of being able to have psychic abilities and knowing things. But she went to Liberty Church, and before she died, with 2 weeks, she had herself baptized again. When she was little with me, we were Mormons, and from 72, Latter-day Saints. And after the Baptist church, my mother wouldn't let us join the Catholic church, but after I got married, I became a Latter-day Saint, so my daughter was. But she felt like that God had no religion, but she believed in Jesus, and she believed in the Bible, so she went to a New Age non-denominational called Liberty Church here locally. But, it's hard for me because she's not here now, but I want to believe, because I have past life memories all the way back, and I did an Atlantis Oracle with my music on YouTube and put it out there free because it was my past life memories all the way back to before On and Nu and Mu, M-U, and Lemuria, and then Atlantis. But I don't know if other people, or if you feel like it's programmed to say the words, but do you say you felt it, but do you feel like you've had past lives like so many of us use programmed words? Like, Lemuria was supposed to be someone else that made the word based on lemurs on a certain island, but we started adopting James Churchwood's idea of Atlantis and mapping and, back in Pangea. But do you have anything like that you relate to in human words, like Atlantis past lives for yourself?
Well,
does that make sense?
I actually I actually even have a very primordial memory of all the way back to being a frog and watching the world be born.
Okay.
I have a very
that is very carnal, it's very primordial.
Yeah.
So you started out way before humans.
I did. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they weren't here yet. But my most recent, I guess, past life memory. Yes. I have pictures. I've drawn pictures of. It was actually in Tibet, and I was beheaded, and but not really, because I wasn't freaked out of my own body, but there was a little mirror on the wall, and my friends were rapping at the door, and they wanted in, but I didn't want them to see me like that, and so I kept trying to put my head back on, because I was kind of embarrassed, and I knew they would freak out if they found me, but I woke up right as they came in, but I still like I could draw pictures of the room. I knew what the outside looked like. I've drawn many pictures of it, and I was a man, and I had Tibetan scriptures, pages with me. Pages are teachings, and are the written form of teachings, and the people at the door wanted to get the teachings before whoever beheaded me got them. And I suspect it was the Chinese, right? And so, but no, it's very, very clear, very clear, very clear. Yeah.
Well,
and
that's
not,
important to your life story.
Well,
did you write it down anywhere?
Have that. Oh yeah, like I said, I've drawn pictures of it, and I've told a lot of people. But I've kind of I don't know. I always say, you know, what I kind of take a humble approach, but I guess that, you know, they're all important, all of our past lives, because they lead us to where we are now, right? Even if we don't remember them. Yeah.
Mine is more extraterrestrial in Tibet. I had me and my Tom and Tommy, and none of us were supposed to have children, but we were visiting from another place in space. And when we landed, it was like a prison colony, but we actually landed in a mountain in Tibet. It's a famous, I don't know the name right off the top of my head, but when we died there, and they died first, so it's like I lived and the two crashed. It's like a repeating story in my life with extraterrestrials. But I taught the people there I needed help, and we encased them in gold and put them in the mountain. And we had Yeti, and I was coming in from another place in space, but I don't really know that I was Anunnaki or any of the American terms. I just had that memory, or like you said, deja vu, but it feels like a reality in my head. So when and Tommy, I was called Tara when I was in Hawaii, and I had a lot of ET experiences over Japan and China. So this ET energy of flying and coming in being in Tibet, and then they put up the flags to help remember us, but we were supposed to return. It was like a prison planet here we found. But we left some of the Yeti up there, and this sounds far-fetched. So it's like your frog story. It's like you don't really want to talk about it, but it's who I am now, and it's probably why I'm here talking to you now, because we all have these weird memories, and what do we do with them? And does that mean that it makes us where karma is a big part of our death, karma and dharma? I don't know, but we both have memories, and what do we do with them, especially when somebody dies? And no one should have to bury their child. But can you help me with the karma dharma thing, you know, about death and dying and karma and dharma, the energy?
What specifically are you? Can you just get a little more specific with me? You know.
Yeah. I have memories of me, but I don't know that it is for everybody like you have it. So it's sort of a memory in your head, and then you have dreams to prove it. So I'm sort of looking for how we live with who we are inside, because I have these memories, and even Tommy, because when I first heard his voice, and I had lived Tara lives, in green Tara and white Tara and then extraterrestrial Tara. But these were lifetimes I'd had in the past, and then I looked for them in museums and growing up and going to Chicago, and I was looking for the parts, and I found some in the Jain and these other religions. But anyway, that's memories and on my spiritual path. But the part that was interesting to me when Tommy came with his voice, even though it was New Jersey, I mean, you're a musician, and I could hear things. I'm sure you can hear things in flutes and harps and vibrations and resonating. And I couldn't understand, because Tommy and I had some heck of a difference of opinion and arguments. And, you know, it's just our humble negative egos or something, or trying to learn to communicate with each other. But I have a very deep love for him, like he's a spiritual brother from another mother in a past life, some kind of soul memory and some kind of spiritual Tara things I was taught in lifetime. So I know that that's a feeling with him, but I didn't have any of those with my daughter. I don't understand that. So is it a karma dharma thing, or why some souls? I mean, she thanked me for me being here and having her, because we both died. So she thanked me for being her mother this time, and I guess she chose me or I chose her, but I told her I created her. She was my magic. Brown hair and blue eyes and her olive complexion, because she didn't look anything like me. But she was my child, and I didn't understand that either. But she had a lifetime as a blue baby, a blue being. And so she related very much to Avatar. And then Tommy, and Tommy's blue, so he had a small talk with her once. But what is that? Is that karma and dharma? I'm looking for what resonates with the voice and the feeling and the stories. Do you know what that is?
Well, yeah. Yeah, definitely past life. Definitely.
Hmm.
And yeah, for sure.